Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Coming to you almost live from the Strategium in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, it's the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 105. It is January 16th, and I am your host, Elric. I hate microtransactions, but I do them a lot, Edge. And with me today is...
This would be Lord Bill. No, I'm not sorry. Crisis Protocol is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Okay. There, I said it. I'm not sorry.
Don't be, Bill. Embrace who you are.
I am. That's what this show is all about.
Oh, God. God.
Folks, if you could have been here for the last... Okay, Elric came over about noon. It's now 3 o'clock. We're starting to record. And in the past 3 hours, wow, have we basically fixed the world. Yeah.
While simultaneously getting canceled.
Yeah, at the same time. We are just that good.
We're just that good.
It's good to be this good. Anyway, hey, big news. We cracked our fundraising goal.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we busted right through it. So
Nice.
I guess there's some folks out there that want Lumineth Realm Lords Army box.
That is good. It's tasty.
It is. It is very cool. So the first show in February, which actually should probably be the next show we record, I believe. Or actually, it'll be close enough no matter what. We'll pull that name out of our hat. So
Sweet.
yep, you got 2 more weeks to throw money at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Wow, I am.
It's a good thing you're not paid to do that ad.
Boy, I'm telling you what.
That'd be a bad investment.
I'm seriously thinking they'd have fired me by now. So, yep, 2 more weeks, and yeah, we'll give away a Lumineth box, and then maybe we'll continue it on and do something else. So we have other things to give away too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on a side note, did you see my frame up there?
I've been staring at it. Yeah. Is that backlit?
No, that's just in a frame.
That is just how vibrant that
how vibrant
artwork
his work is. Yeah. So what we're talking about is I got my Army print from Artist Empire.
Yeah.
That one great listener purchased. And what I did was I sent pictures over to Artist Empire of my Nighthaunt Army. And then he basically turned it into a massive collage shot of what my army would look like on a real battlefield.
Yeah.
And it is amazing.
It's gorgeous, man.
It is.
That artwork is over the top good.
Yeah. Artist Empire is over the top good. I am so impressed. It hurts.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So if any of you guys want to see a representation of your Army Artists Empire, I will put a link in the show notes. And yeah, definitely talk to the guy. He does so much stuff. His representations of stuff are just so over the top cool. You really cannot go wrong. Throw a shout out to Velatron. Thank you so much for hooking me up with that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And I will try to remember to put the actual JPEG image into the Facebook page so other people can look at it and not just hear us waxing poetic about it.
You should do that as the cover art for the next show, for the show.
Yeah.
When we release it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put
Yeah,
like
I think I
episode
will.
105 just kind of small in the corner or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People just drink that in. That's sweet.
It is gorgeous.
So today
Today-
is new release day.
And I lost my record, my attempt to have
Oh,
self-control.
Yeah. Imagine that.
I had gone 15 days and 11 hours without buying a GW model.
Yep. Womp womp. What'd you buy?
Okay, well, today's pre-orders were, Death Guard.
Yep.
Yay!
An army that you're world renowned for playing.
Yeah, well, I got a whole box of them up there.
You got a whole boxes of them up there.
No, there are a lot of them are built. I have I think I have a 2,000 point Army 8th edition.
Oh, really?
2,000 point Army primed, not painted. But
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did.
yeah, remember I went full when 8th dropped?
Yeah, and then they had the sweet Death Guard primer, so it made it
Yes, made it
Even
so easy to get into. And now with contrast, it's even, you can ratchet up the easy
Yeah.
to, you know,
Yeah.
now it's 1 on a scale of 10 instead of 2.
If you could just stop doing Crisis Protocol for 5 minutes to focus on
I'm sorry.
Games Workshop.
You were leaving then, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying?
Oh, Crisis Protocol.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Oh, just a little bit. So, yeah, what went up for pre-order today was the Death Guard Codex, both the normal and cool edition, collector's edition, the Dead cards, no dice. I think they learned from the last Death Guard.
God, yeah. Yeah.
Both were sort of bad. And then they also released a Lord of Virulence, a set of Mortarians Chosen, and I forgot the name of the terrain piece. It was...
Oh, the chimney-looking
yeah.
plague furnace thing?
Yep, and you want to hear something really horrible?
What's that?
When I put everything into my cart, it didn't show up, and I paid for it and left the store and got home before I realized I hadn't bought it, the terrain piece.
Uh-oh.
And by that time I got home, we're not talking about, a long trip. It's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I was talking to a coworker for a little while, but it was no longer available. It's email me when you get these again. I'm like, oh, God, I hope he gets one in the store or somebody gets one that I can pick up.
Yep.
So, but, hey, sometimes you're stupid and you do dumb things. And that would be me.
It happens. Happens to the best of us.
It does. It does. It's called the Miasmic Malignifier.
Okay.
You got that going for it. Yeah, so that was the Death Guard part. And, man, there's a lot of controversy about the new Death Guard Codex, about how, there's a change in the size of Poxwalker units. There's some interesting talk about how this army can be played. So it's going to be interesting going forward.
I will be watching the tabletop.
Tabletop Tactics.
Tabletop Tactics
Mm-hmm.
videos about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm dying to see the good info on it. I've been watching the Auspex Tactics stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's another one.
He's got some really interesting views about the change to, the deathly or disgustingly resilient and all that stuff. So,
yeah, I saw there was some issues. Some people were upset that they're toughness 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a naked zombie or whatever? It's toughness 4, but a woman in power armor is only toughness 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't know, maybe because she's also a 3-up save.
Yeah.
And he's a 6.
Yeah, there's
I mean, if only there were other mechanics in the game to
that
showed
offset
how
that.
resilient she is, but okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely it's going to be a new way to play Death Guard. Honestly, everything I've looked at and seen so far, they're going to play differently. They're not going to be just the same immovable, implacable, you can't kill us.
Huh.
Which is, I mean, that's the goal of 9th edition. The goal of 9th edition is not to sit there and have Death Stars that just work and that's the game.
Yeah, you have to be able to move.
And
In
take
9th.
casualties.
Yeah.
So-
So sitting in the corner and shooting
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Sorry, Tao.
Yeah. Or AdMech
Yeah.
until they got some mobility. That was also their play style.
Mm-hmm. And the big fact came out this week, and there were some changes to how scenarios are played. I mean, I think from the brief glances that I've gone through on the fact, everything I think was a change for the better. Eradicators went up in points.
Yeah, like 5 points or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, yeah, you're going to still include those.
Oh, I mean, there's still auto includes, but
Yeah.
now you're talking about, that's 15 points gone.
Oh,
And
one less intercessor.
yeah, well,
My heart breaks.
it does. It's
so sad.
but yeah, I mean, some other things went up, some things went down. The Necrons got, some of the funniest changes to their stuff. The Shard of the Deceiver, was it? I think went up in points, or no, the Nightbringer went up in points, which is good because he was pretty much dominating the Necron field.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, he was a no-brainer take. But they did a lot of points balancing, and then the big change to scenarios is whoever wins the roll-off is going first. No more choosing whether or not you or your opponent go first. You are going first, which I think is really a good. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Because pretty much winning that die roll, I don't want to say would determine, but it does determine the course of the game. You could basically pick and choose whether or not you wanted to be the Alpha Striker or the Alpha Strikee.
Yeah.
Usually turn 2, but, whatever. So also up for sale, Book 5 of the Siege of Terra series.
Oh, yeah.
Mortis. Anyway, yeah, those are such cool books.
Did you get it?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that one. Oh, man. I mean, the books have been pretty darn brilliant so far. It's, when you take the top writers from Black Library and say, here's the deal, we need to bring it home now.
Yeah.
They are definitely not going, well, let me just mail this one in. So they're taking their time with it, and oh boy, it's good. It's kind of everything I want, although that last book,
It's going to be good.
I tell you, my problem with that last book is it's not going to be good.
Why?
Because everyone has an image of what happened on the ship.
Okay.
And, oh, God, Vincent Notley, I'm going to find you and hurt you. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But, I mean, that image, that Horus Sanguinius Emperor image, is burned into everyone's mind.
Right.
And I don't know who is going to write it that it hits everyone right in the feels place correctly. I don't, it's another one of those, like, when you make the Sanguinius model for Forge World,
Yeah.
you're taking such a huge chance because so many people have an image of what it should be. And if you don't deliver that, it's the same thing with that book, is if you don't make that story what everybody wants, and everybody wants something different, so you can't be right. I just bet you that they're going to do it just I know they're going to do it perfectly.
Let's hope
But
so.
I wonder who's going to write that last one. Have they said who's going to write? I don't think they've released who's going to write which book. I wonder if that last book will be like a conglomeration, Abnett and...
I think they'll probably get Matt Ward to do it.
Oh, God. So did you see the tweets coming back? I just got into this one tweet session, and someone, I think Hobbyist Girl, had asked the question about how did Sanguinius die? She's not, super up on that part of the lore. And she was like, how did he die? How, what was the method of death? Not, how did it happen?
Right.
And so people were kind of tearing that image apart, going, well, it looks like, he got a good sword thrust through the torso. And Notley comes along and goes, interesting. Weapon that looks like perhaps a flaming sword made it, not the huge axe or the fist that, what's his name? Horus was wearing at the time. Wonder who could have done that. I'm like, the only guy I know in the room with a flaming sword is the Emperor.
Wow.
Yeah, so I told him, well, that's a conspiracy theory that's going to live in my head until that book comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that will be interesting because as we get the last book, it is going to put a lot of stuff to rest.
Yeah.
The theory that it's not the Emperor on the throne, that it's Horus because chaos shrouded Dorne's view.
Yep.
That's an interesting theory.
Or that it's Sanguinius that's on the throne, and
or what happens to Sanguinius?
Yeah, exactly.
Is
what
he really
happens?
dead?
Yeah, and if they go down that road of he's not really dead, and that's why they have the image in their head. I've seen that theory put forth a lot. Is that he's not actually dead, and the reason they have the Black Rage is because he's reaching out to his chapter to come free him.
Is he stuck in some kind of stasis?
Yeah. So I've seen that theory go around.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And that's, I hate to say it, but commercially, you bring back Sanguinius and there's a lot of model sales.
You know what? Okay. I was going to say that would kind of make a lot of sense for the Primaris Blood Angels because they get the Black Rage, right? And the whole story was that Call had pure gene seed, given to him by the Emperor before all of that's why he had gene seed from all 20 legions and stuff. And apparently that's been retconned now
bit,
that it's all been given to him by Bobby G and
Yeah.
not the Emperor, and that I don't know. I'm confused on it now. I think they screwed that up so bad. And now you apparently got to rebuy books that you already own so that they can add a sentence
So they can be retconned.
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know. But with the original story, that would have made sense, right?
Yeah.
Of like, because why would, if you had pure gene seed before then, why would they suffer from the Black Rage?
Right. If it couldn't possibly have infected the DNA, but maybe it's not DNA.
Yeah, maybe
So,
it's a psychic
It's a dude saying,
connection. Because he's what, like the second most powerful psyker of the Primarchs, I think?
yeah, I think they said
Second
he was
or
the
third?
second, and he was also one of the few that had forward vision, that had
Yeah.
the ability to see the future. And it was just him and, Magnus that could see the future?
No, the Knight,
Lorgar?
Batman.
Conrad Kurz.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But he could see so much of it that it drove him crazy
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
he had the absolute forward
Yeah.
sight that it really terrified him all the time. The poor guy. I truly love Conrad Kurz.
Yeah. So
Man,
much so that you couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Oh,
kidding.
Batman. Oh,
Yeah.
Conrad Kurz.
Yeah.
Do you mean Bruce Wayne?
Yep.
No. So anyway, that's going to be... So this is book 5, Mortis, and if you look at the front, it's got the symbology of the Titan Legions. So I imagine this book is going to center a lot around Mars and the legions going up against each other, being Legio Mortis and all that. So
Yeah.
with the title Mortis and the Legio symbol on the book, I think it might be something about Mars.
Yeah. Oh, and just a warning to people out there as this series comes out, please don't spoil the ending.
Yeah.
All right.
What if there is an ending that's like way out and it does get spoiled? Oh my God. Yeah. What if they're like, yeah, no, actually it's Dorne on the throne and the Emperor and Sanguinius have been partying for 10,000 years.
Yep.
Oh man. And Horus too. And they're all laughing and joking and
Just having a good old time.
they're like, whoa, I lost track of time. It's been 10,000 years. We got to get back.
Oh.
Oh, that's so bad. Anyway, next up, there's also, oddly enough, collector's edition or limited edition of Alfarius,
Yeah.
head of the Hydra. I did not realize he was associated with Hydra, G.I. Joe, and I thought he was a Primarch.
Or Marvel.
Yeah,
Hell,
he's
Hydra.
in the Marvel unit. Yeah, he's the head of Hydra.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
hopefully Crisis Protocol will have his models.
Oh my God.
You see that tie in there, huh?
Yeah.
You like how I did that?
That wasn't heavy handed at all.
No, it's not like I have an agenda. So also coming out is some Lord of the Rings stuff. You got Black Riders. You have Gildor and Glorian and Glorfindel, so 2 elf lords.
Oh, it's the re-release then? Because they did
Yeah.
they did those a long
time ago. And I believe they're the same ones. You got Frodo and Sam and Gollum from that scene in the movie where they first meet Gollum.
Oh no.
It's a kind of a, because, Gollum is pasted to a big rock outcropping. So it's that image of Frodo and Sam.
Cool.
And then they're re-releasing the Haldir, March Warden of Lothlorien models. I think this is a re-release because I thought Haldir was out already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he came out right after Helm's Deep
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah, and it's got the 2 versions, one with the sword, one with the bow. So,
You want to hear something crazy?
okay.
The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring came out 20 years ago.
I know, isn't that?
20 years.
Yep. And I distinctly remember that day being in the theater with like a group of 8, I think it was the 4 couples. There was 8 of us, and we were just, we walked out of that movie and we were just like, we've got to go back. And yet the lines were around the block.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't get near the theater for another week.
I remember years before the movie came out, there was like an HBO commercial or something that had the tiniest snippet
Yeah.
of a Nazgul. And I remember just going over the moon, being so excited. And it was years until, because it took them, 5 years to film it all or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it was a huge long. I think it was like 3 years of filming and a couple years of post production.
Yeah.
But the way they did it, I mean, he did the whole movie in one,
Yeah, all 3 movies.
you
in
know,
one
because they
shot.
knew they were going to have to reshoot some scenes and all that stuff. But this way, he could have the content flow for when he edited it.
Yeah. And that was like one of the first things to come out. And it was years
Yeah.
before that movie even came out.
Yep.
So, oh, man.
Yep.
How long do you think it's going to be until they redo them?
I think a while. I think a commercial success like that is, there may be different versions. You know, there may be I think they're going to keep their money in this Middle Earth thing that HBO is doing.
Oh, the Amazon?
You know, yeah, or Amazon, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, apparently just the other day they finally came out with some announcements for that
Yeah.
for actors.
Yeah.
Apparently it's going to take place in the Second Age,
Yes.
and the bad guy will be I forgot. He's like described as like the most horrific bad guy that Tolkien penned, and the actor that will play him is
Benedict Cumberbatch. No.
no, it's going to be the villain and the protagonist are 2 people from Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
But they're not like massive Game of Thrones people. One of them is going to be the guy that played the younger version of Neddard Stark. I guess that's going to be the main character. So in the Flash, if you've watched Game of Thrones, first of all, I'm sorry about season 8. Second of all,
It's not for you to apologize.
yeah, right. You did nothing wrong. You enjoyed it like everyone else. Anyways, in the scenes that they do, like the flashbacks, the guy who plays the young version of Eddard Stark, I guess, is going to be the protagonist, and then the antagonist. Oh, Benjen Stark.
Oh,
Benjen Stark, the guy, Jon Snow's uncle.
yeah.
That is going to be the bad guy, I guess. And I cannot remember the name of the character from the Second Age that he's supposed to be portraying. But apparently it's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And a $200 million budget.
Oh, my
8
flipping
episodes.
God.
It's a 5-season series they want to do, and the budget is like $1 billion to do 5 seasons of a show.
How in the hell do you get, oh, God, I don't know.
Because that's the money that Jeff Bezos found in his couch cushions.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
it's, you know,
It's
whatever.
the
$1 billion
spare change.
doesn't mean anything to that guy.
From one of his Teslas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
wrong billionaire, Bill. I know they're all hard. That's Elon Musk.
Well, I know, but
he's
Bezos
too busy.
has Teslas because he just gave them to him because
Well,
that's how it works.
Yeah, that's right. I know you're kind of hard up, buddy. Let me give you a car.
Yeah, let me give you a couple of these plug-in cars. Anyway, so that was Haldir. Then also are coming out Barrow Whites and Dead Marsh Specters. So if you're doing an Army of the Dead, you got some more guys.
Oh, yeah.
So, which is very nice. Very, very nice. Also coming out in paperback is Lord of the Dark Millennium. Dun, dun, dun.
What's that?
I don't remember, and I didn't read it. So I'm sad.
It's not
And-
part of the Dawn of Fire series, is
No,
it?
it is not.
Okay.
No. It is the definitive short story collection. So it's Dark Millennium stories. It's probably a thing, you know, compilation, like they said it was.
Fair enough.
Wow, am I psychic or what?
It's a compilation of short stories. So I'm guessing it's probably like a bunch of short stories put into one book.
Compiled, yeah, into a book. Okay, thank you, Captain Obvious.
That's why you're here, Bill, to break down everything for us.
It's this insightful commentary.
Make sense of the madness.
Just bringing it back to Earth, pal. Bringing it back to Earth. All righty then. So in creation, I want to. I don't believe I left that up there. I want to throw out a hint before I talk about some models I made. I want to throw out just a piece of wisdom that I don't want to claim this as my own, because I saw it on a video the other day, and it sure as hell made me go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But if you're doing contrast paints, don't use your good Kolinsky Sable brushes. If you're using washes, don't use your good Kolinsky Sable brushes. Use a regular synthetic brush. Because, I mean, the washes and the contrast paints are very, very thin, and they travel up there. You can watch it. They travel up the hairs of that brush like
Oh, yeah.
at light speed. And that means they're going into the ferrule, which is what causes our brushes to go bad. It causes it to expand in the ferrule and push the little hairs apart, and it's bad. Yeah, don't be putting on contrast paint with your good Kolinsky brushes, or same thing with washes. If you're doing Nuln Oil, you should be using like a GW wash brush or, some other one of the GW non-artificer brushes. And, I saw that on a video and I was just like, why has this not dawned on me in, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years? Because I'm stupid. That's why.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't use that.
Okay.
I mean, it's just that.
You don't think?
You know what it is? It's probably just convenience. You already have the brush in your hand.
I have it in my hand.
So you
and
just
I'm
keep
gonna
plowing
use it.
through the paint job. Yeah,
Yep.
That's probably what it is.
It really is, especially with the washes. You just grab the bigger body one and say, okay, I'm throwing it on. But you don't realize it's actually going up there, and it's,
Yeah, especially if there's already a little bit of moisture in the brush. It's just going to.
it just wicks right up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just a simple tip, helping to keep it real in the creation department.
The more you know.
The more you know. Would you like to know more? Okay.
Yeah.
So my creation this last 2, 3.
Yeah, Bill, what have you been up to in 2021?
I built a few models. I got like 10 or so models painted, and I got a bunch more built. I have like 25 built.
Yeah.
Almost 20 of them are completely primed. Yeah.
How many of those are Space Marines?
None.
How many of them are Night Haunt, Osiark Bone Reapers, Necrons, literally any of the other armies that you've been hyping?
Not exactly any of them.
You know what, Bill? You get a free pass because they are super epic, sweet models.
They are so good. And we are talking about Crisis Protocol,
Yeah.
which, if you don't know, is a superhero miniature skirmish game.
Yeah.
And the basic box set, I built up the basic box set, primed it, and painted it. And these models just scream contrast paint.
Yeah.
They just, the whole range screams for it. Now, I mean, I know there's guys out there doing these amazing paint jobs with them, but to get it out there and, this is not the focus game for my life. So it's just a really fun sideline. And they just scream contrast paint, and they come out looking just gorgeous. Beautiful models.
They do.
These are really great models to put together. They're some of the best non-GW plastic models I've ever seen from any company. And what I found was interesting was the company that makes Crisis Protocol is Atomic Mass Games, who just picked up the Star Wars everything. So Fantasy Flight lost it. Everybody else that had Star Wars miniature stuff lost it, and now it's all gone to Atomic Mass. And Atomic Mass Games is basically a whole bunch of ex-Privateer Press guys. It's Will Pagani, Will Schick, Dallas Kemp, and those guys, the guys that I always used to think at Privateer Press had their head screwed on right, and, kind of were more about gaming than beaten face or just
Making a good game instead of crapping on GW.
instead of making War Machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
War Mahards. So, yeah, these guys, and it really shows because Crisis Protocol plays really well. Don't get serious about it. Okay, don't think this is, it's super competitive and it's a lot of fun, and there's lots of ways to break down the maths and all this other stuff, but play it because it's just a ton of fun, and the dice rule that game.
Nice.
So it's so much fun to play. Anyway, that's what I did. I painted up the 10 basic box models, and I built up about 30 others.
Yeah, I saw them behind you. Pretty epic.
It's embarrassing what I've done. I've painted almost all of the terrain. I painted the movement templates, and
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's,
and some of and for those, I was just experimenting with. I tried the color shift paints for the first time,
oh, yeah.
and just had a blast learning to use those. And it's movement rulers and movement trays. So okay, if it doesn't come out perfect, I don't care.
Right.
They'll do the same job. So it was great to experiment with different techniques and different airbrush things and different paintbrush techniques that I never really wanted to try on, like my Osiark Bone Reapers or my Salamanders, because I have a plan for those.
Yeah.
I've got several games of Crisis Protocol, and oh my God, is it fun?
None of them with me. That's I appreciate that.
You
That's
know,
fine. No,
you're not around when I'm gaming, so
Wow.
you're on the road.
wow.
The idea of doing some of these like 15-hour days means I'm getting home from work when you're going to work. But don't worry, we will play. You will like this game. You will enjoy it.
Sweet.
It's just fun and it flows. It's really smooth.
Cool.
It's a blast. And then I guess we're going to take a quick break to have some food.
Yep.
And then we're going to kick off into our lore. Okay, so here we are with episode 105A.
Yeah.
We're here recording because we recorded episode 105. It was not good.
Yeah, it was a bit rough.
Yeah, it was definitely out there. I mean, most of the episode was fine until we got to the lore section where we were covering kind of the grimdark motif of AOS and 40K, and it just kind of it became more of a brofest discussion.
Yeah.
Than
And it kind of meandered. I don't think we made any coherent point.
Yeah, we didn't actually prove or disprove the points that we were trying to make. So that's going in the can. That one's going into the pooper. So we're going to actually cover now the orders from this week, the orders from 2 weeks ago. GW did this crazy thing where they did like the LVO preview show. Who knew?
Yeah.
And they dropped some freaking bombs. So we're gonna cover the bombs. We're gonna have actual, stuff to disagree about. I would love to talk about the pre-orders from a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't gotten them yet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. All the orders from 2 weeks ago have not shipped yet. So, and I ordered through my friendly local Games Workshop store. Wow.
Bill upset somebody.
I did. I wrote a letter, and I guess that I shouldn't have wrote the letter.
That's what you get, peasant.
I know. God, if only this was AMC. I'd be taking you down. Okay, anyway. Going up for order this week is Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Wow. And, from the snippets from that book, looks like Dark Angels got real.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a legit army. Very strong supplement for the Space Marine Codex.
Yeah, they have some very, very cool rules. I'd love to talk about the Death Guard rules, but no, I don't know what they are.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Also coming out are separate Eradicators. So all you eBay sellers who are parting out your Indominus boxes for just the Eradicators, thank you, because you hooked me up. But that little ship sailed.
Yeah, and apparently this box will have like 1,600 different head variations.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
yeah, it's absurd.
It is. It's cool. But I didn't buy one because I have my Indominus boxes still. So
Yeah.
it's all good. The Heroes of the Chapter went up for web-only sales.
Yeah.
So that's an older kit. That's some older stuff, but they're very cool models.
It's the hero models minus the Captain and Gravis armor from the 8th edition release. So I don't know if the Captain and Gravis armor will be a clam pack eventually or something, but I kind of thought we would get the Marine side of that as another get started box, kind of like they did with Spearhead. But apparently not, which is unfortunate because this is like 8 models for $75.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And web-only sales. That's kind of...
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if it's maybe like a version of made to order or something, or I don't know. It's weird. And then the Holy Grail of Impact Armies, Land Speeders.
Yeah, these things, my God.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I bought 2 of them, and I'm still kicking myself because there's 3 different versions.
Right.
And I bought 2. So now I'm going to have to buy another one.
Yeah, of course you are.
Well, that's just me.
Well, actually, you got to buy 7 more of them. That way you have 3 of each for Blood Angels, Salamanders.
Oh, that's a good point.
And Dark Ravens, Blood Ravens.
Raven Guard.
That's God. Brain fart.
Yeah, smell the eggs?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Looking forward to those. Also coming out for Dire Chasm is Kagra's Ravagers.
Oh, God, these look so good.
Oh, wow.
Everything for that stupid game looks amazing.
I truly hate them for that.
Why?
They're just so gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
And it just whets your appetite for more. So, I mean, it's not like they don't know what they're doing. They do. And they got me. Gate of Bones, the Dawn of Fire novel number 2.
Yep.
Comes out in both collector's edition and I think coming out in hardback or
Paperback.
paperback. That's right. Yeah. So,
Which is cool because it used to be the hardback would come out and then like a few months later the paperback would drop. But so hopefully that also means that the audio version of it
Yeah, I hope so.
dropping too.
I hope so. I've got credits ready to burn.
Yep.
So, Blade Guard Vets in a separate box.
Yeah.
Yay!
Very, very cool.
And a lot more options on this set, than in the Indomitus box. So,
Right on.
yeah. Yeah, one of the things that got me about the box version was I didn't want to do them for the Salamanders because they just didn't seem to capture that look I was after. But the kit, I think, is going to.
Okay.
And the Necron Psychomancer is out. He's the one that looks like he's building a binary wall in front of him. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. So those are the pre-orders for this week. I will wonder against wonders when it will get here.
Yeah.
Okay, hearkening back a little bit to our creation segment. I wanted to mention this before and I didn't, but the Kickstarter from Dave Taylor for Mel Bose's or the Terrain Tutor, the book shipped and I got my copy of the book and from reading the Kickstarter updates, it looks like everybody's got their copies because they're looking at going to regular retail sale with it. And let me tell you something. If you want to build terrain for anything, doesn't matter what game system because Mel doesn't care, get that book.
Yeah.
It's like the GW How to Build Terrain on steroids, amplified by 500 and updated for what we can get today.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Well, Mel is amazing. He goes through everything. If you're not subscribed to the Terrain Tutor and you like to build terrain, even for like D&D or any game, anything, it's a must watch. His YouTube channel, and he basically distilled everything he knows into a book. And what's crazy is he did it while he was, had a cancer scare, got divorced, had to move, had a popped lung, had pneumonia, and his channel basically went on hiatus for a while because he physically couldn't do recordings. So just what he went through during the production of this book is amazing. He's a great guy. So if you want to build terrain, buy that book.
All right.
And in, do we want to mention Battle?
Yeah, we'll mention how I steamrolled you. We actually played a game.
We did.
Not of Age of Sigmar.
Not a 40K.
Not of Games Workshop.
No.
We played a game of Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yes. And
which, we're both incredibly hyped for.
Yes.
It's a tremendously fun game. I took my Red Skull and threw the Tesseract Orb in Captain America's face and nuked him.
That hurt.
Yeah, and then I picked up the Daily Bugle and with Ultron and threw it at Doc Ock.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, man, this is so cool. This is so cool.
This game is so cinematic. It hurt. You can see these scenes playing out in the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and it's one of those games where it's really swingy and you're never out of it. I mean, I was so far behind.
Yeah, I think I was beating you 10-3 or something,
Yeah.
going into the third turn, and then you came back 10-10.
And then it was 10-10.
Holy crap.
And then if I had gotten Iron Man over to the Extremis console, I would have won at the end of that turn.
Yeah.
Except that he died.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cap.
Yeah.
And then
It's a bloody game.
Baron Zemo'd him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Zemo is so, well, Cabal is so good.
Yeah.
And the Avengers, if the Avengers had been there, like real Avengers, not with Doc Ock and Crossbones, because to me, Crossbones is he's a handicap in that list.
Oh, yeah.
So, because if I could have had another Avenger, like Thor or somebody, it's a whole, but I mean, it's the introductory scenario. It's there for a reason. It's there for the person that knows the game to take one side and the person that doesn't know the game to take the other side.
Yeah.
And
get them hooked.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's a lot of fun. And you saw how you don't quit after turn 3 because, well, I'm behind 10-3. I'll never catch up. Yeah, I
Right.
will. Yeah.
You definitely could. And I found that while it's very over the top and cinematic and everything like that, there's actually a lot of nuanced strategy
Mhm.
and planning that you have to do. Because there was a couple times, both of us had an idea and we kind of executed it poorly. And then halfway through our action with that character, we're like, well, crap,
I could have.
I can't do anything now
Yeah.
because I did that in the wrong order,
Yeah.
or I didn't think about,
Yeah.
just that kind of thing. So you still have to pay attention and play it tactically. But again, you're picking up buildings and throwing them at each
Yeah.
other and
Yep.
doing crazy stuff like that. So
It's one of those game design mechanics where you are presented with far more options than you have resources to use. So managing what you have and getting done what you need to get done is incredibly important. And you saw what I did when I, screwed up the placement of Captain America. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
handicapped him bad. And that handicap was 2 turns worth of, oh, darn it, he's out. So
yeah. And thinking back on it, I did the whole wrong thing with Baron Zemo. Like, he works best being next to other people.
Yeah.
And the entire game, I had him out by himself.
on a wing, yeah.
Yeah. So just
So.
little things like that.
Hey, we're learning. We're
Yeah.
getting it. We'll figure it out. We'll be up there in the top tiers pretty soon.
So is this where we announce that we're doing? This is going to become a Marvel
Yeah.
Protocol show.
This is an MCP show now,
Yep.
and that's all we're going to cover is.
AOS what?
I'm sorry, who?
40K who? Huh?
I don't know what those are. Oh, that's from that other game
Yeah.
company. No,
It doesn't
no.
ship you your stuff on
Yeah, that
time.
doesn't ship. That's it. I quit. I'm burning all my stuff.
Yep, I'm out. You had your chance.
Funny, I was talking to Anders, and I'm like, I'm really upset about this, and I'm upset in the way that none of this actually matters at all in my life.
Right.
It's just the principle of the idea that, it's been 2 weeks and nothing. Yeah, it's one of those, who cares? Trust me, if I don't get the Death Guard book this week, my life will continue on as normal.
Yeah, with that attitude.
Yeah, that's
You got
true.
to summon your inner Karen, Bill, and just go full.
I want to talk to the
I
manager.
want to talk to your manager.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I was talking to him, though. He was the one laughing at me for being a crybaby.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's all good. So, all right. So, yeah, that was our battle. If you haven't picked up Marvel Crisis Protocol and you want like a fun palette cleanser game where you can paint the models in an evening,
Oh yeah.
it's a riot. It's good fun. And it's actually, I think you can hook a lot of people into miniatures with that kind of a game.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole thing is you get them hooked on that. And then you say, hey, there's this other game. You like fantasy stuff or do you like sci-fi stuff?
Yeah.
And then just,
Where you play with more model, like play with a whole army instead of a handful
yeah.
of characters.
Yep.
A skirmish game.
So yeah, it's all the miniatures hobby. And, I've always railed against the people who, like me, are screw Dawn of War players, screw Ninth Pagers. We're all miniatures people. We're in such a niche hobby anyway.
Right.
We shouldn't really ostracize anyone except for Ninth Pagers and, Dawn of War. And that sort of Fire and Ice.
You mean Kings of War?
Yeah, Kings of War, whatever. Kings of Doofus.
Wow.
All those people that are like, square bases or die. Yeah. Am I soapboxing again?
Yeah, it's all right though.
It's true.
You got
It's
a
true.
microphone, you might as well use it.
That's right. Anyway, you want to try Star Wars Legion? That's cool too.
Absolutely.
I do too. I know.
Absolutely. In fact, I've seen some people pumping out quite a few. I can't remember.
Tyler
who it is.
Mengel's been putting out a bunch
Is he the
of-
one that's been doing all
Yeah.
the battle droids?
Yeah.
And just like 20 at a shot?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's him. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks so cool.
So sweet.
And
So
you got a
sweet.
bunch of it.
I do. I actually do.
You
Yeah.
could get together, Bill, and
Yeah,
roll some first dice. And
throw some dice and see what happens.
you know what we could do?
What's that?
I'm going to throw this out there. Since we've kind of wandered away from AOS and 40K, right? Stay with me here.
I'm with you.
You could build
Oh no.
your Adeptus Titanicus stuff,
Stop it.
and we could jump in.
Because we're going to cover that here shortly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Just saying.
I know.
No more building 600 models for an army and painting them and
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Bill.
Spill one
I
big
feel
one.
like we've broken free of.
Yes, we have cut loose the shackles of. Wait a minute, we're still in the GW world. What are you?
Well,
talking
yeah,
about?
but I'm just saying. You don't have to do your 60 more tech guard and
Yeah, that's
your
true.
20 cavalry and all that.
Oh,
You could just
man.
do half a dozen Titans,
Yeah.
and we can make pew pew, smash smash noises.
In the right world.
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
As King Kong versus Godzilla gets ready to come out. Yes!
And then we'll have a miniatures game for that.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
good.
God.
It's so good. It's all coming together.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, well. All right.
All right, we're going to move on to the preview show here in just a second. We're going to take a quick break. Okay, on to the preview.
Yeah.
So, I mean, true to form, this would have been probably what was dropped at LVO.
Yeah, I think so.
So, and I'm thinking, well, we have some opinions on what might come Adepticon time frame.
Honestly, we probably would have gotten even more.
I think
because
so.
they just announced a week or two ago that they're slowing down their rollouts and stuff to make up for the disruption that COVID caused. So if COVID hadn't happened, we would be at LVO.
Yeah.
Which means they wouldn't have slowed down production. So we probably would have gotten, actually some of these announcements probably would have already went out the door before.
Yeah.
And we would have gotten even more. So thanks, COVID.
Yeah. Stupid.
I'm trying to suck all the oxygen out of the room before we talk about the insane stuff that was announced.
Okay. Because it is insane.
I'm trying to take the expectations down so that we can shoot to the moon.
Oh, my God. Aren't we ever? Holy.
Yeah.
And when I say we, I mean they. Oh, my God. This was a preview show that, except for the people who are already preordained to hate GW and all of their releases.
I don't understand how you even could. Because, like, fine, if you want to go against 40K and AOS, whatever. Specialist games got love.
I know.
How can you hate the specialist
And
games?
the comments that I saw flying out of the chat, I mean, I really felt bad for Notley. This is one of the first preview shows where I saw him throwing the banhammer or the, deleted comments and banhammer around like crazy because people were like getting rude.
Why?
Yeah, it boggled my mind because there was something there for everybody. And okay, so it didn't hit your faction specifically. I mean, we're going to talk about it when we talk about the FAQ as well. The people who are just absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. I
know.
did see some pretty nasty. That got ridiculous.
Yeah, death threats to Ben Johnson
Yeah,
'Cause
that's a bit much.
you didn't fix.
Because there's no points, no point updates.
Okay.
And so people were like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
Anyways, let's
Let's get on to the good stuff. So if you're a Sisters of Battle player,
yeah,
oh my God, the Paragon War suit.
that thing looks so cool.
Oh my
I think it's the same concept that we've been seeing iterations before of. It kind of started with the Death Knight, the Dread Knight, the Grey Knight, Dread Knight.
Yeah.
And then we got like kind of the Invictus War suit.
And
We
the
got
Centurions,
Centurions. We got
and-
Aggressors.
Yeah.
Which are kind of like a suit inside of a suit.
Yeah.
This one I think looks the best.
It's the
Because-
most thematically correct.
Yeah, and she's like really encased inside of it
Yeah.
instead of being like strapped on the outside
Right,
or inside
or-
of a roll cage or
Yep.
whatever. So
Yeah, no, it's an extension of her
yeah.
form. And, the thing that struck me right when I saw that was, oh my God, they made female Space Marines without making female Space Marines. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this hits on so many levels. You want powered armor ladies? Here's your
Yeah.
power armored ladies.
That
and-
model looks so
Oh, God, is it sweet. Oh,
good. And then
lovely.
Kill Team, the Pariah Nexus. So
Oh, controversy.
in this box, we got a Space Marine Captain and with the Mastercrafted Heavy Bolt Rifle and 5 Intercessors. And on the Necron side, you got the Cryptek and 5 Flayed Ones. Now, are these new Flayed One models?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the only way you can get them right
Now
is in this box.
And you
So-
want to talk about the chat blew up right there because everybody wants flayed ones and not everybody plays Kill Team. And I mean, the amount of vitriol that hit that chat, and that's when Notley really had to start with the banhammer, was just the comments were so over the, and what kills me about those comments about screw you, you're going to make me buy Kill Team to get 5 freaking models. If you're so stupid that you honestly think GW is not going to package those flayed ones separately, I'm sorry, you probably don't belong in a hobby that contains any kind of math. I mean, you're just not right. You are not a functioning person.
Yeah, well.
So you might have to wait an extra month. Wow. Really, check your life skills at the door. I'm serious. Oh, that drove me nuts.
Propeller blade?
Yeah, big time.
Propeller blade.
Big time.
Oh. Yeah, no, I mean,
That looks like a gorgeous box. And just looking at the terrain that comes in there, it's all Necron-themed terrain because you're supposed to be in a Necron catacomb.
right.
And so it's all Necron walls and doors and stuff like that. It plays on a board. It just looks amazing for scatter terrain, for everything. And I mean, just, oh, and of course, it contains all the rules inside to use all the Indomitus stuff box in Games of Kill Team.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big expansion to Kill Team. And I mean, how can anybody see that as a bad thing? You know damn well they're going to make those flayed ones available within weeks, maybe, well, with the slowdown in the schedule, within a month or two.
Yeah, I mean, we eventually got the Blood of the Phoenix stuff,
Mhm.
the Incubi, Howling Banshees, and both the Exarch Lord, Phoenix Lords,
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah.
You know, it took a little while, but you can get all those. Yeah, to think that these wouldn't be available later is
And if you really want to be a GW hater, just phrase it as, oh, yeah, look, they're just going to suck more money out of me by releasing separate kits down the road. What a bunch of jerks, as you buy them in
Right.
in great numbers, because flayed ones are cool. And it's, I don't know. I got to get off this. Yeah, that tweaked my,
or
or,
you could go buy the old metal ones and just enjoy that.
oh my God,
Slamming your head into a
or the
brick wall.
fine cast.
Oh god.
Oh God, they were well, not horrible. They're not that bad, but they are failcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that looks to be just an amazing box. So much fun.
And if it's anything like how Indomitus was, people snap up all the Space Marine stuff, and the Necron stuff goes up on eBay for cheap.
yeah, or it won't
So-
be cheap. They'll charge a premium price for those flayed ones.
Well,
This is why I believe that it's not going to be too long after that Kill Team box comes out that they release the plastic flayed ones,
yeah.
because I think they're getting a little tired of that eBay secondary market. Just, here's $100 for 5 guys. Here's, $199.
Yeah. If anybody's gonna charge $100 for 5 models, it's gonna be us.
It's going to be
damn
us, damn it. Yeah, exactly. That's how you frame your hatred. Okay? Don't just sit there and, oh, God. Understand that they are a business. The business must sell product.
Yep.
They are going to sell you product. Trust me. And then, oh, my God. I have never
Yeah.
seen so many reactions on that chat. When they started that movie about this is the Adeptus Titanicus release. So the big splash here was obviously the Loyalist Legion book that's coming out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the War Master Titan.
Mother of God.
This is going to be just that scale picture that they show on the website
Yeah.
is, you look at that and you can fit like 20 of the Imperial Knights stacked up to that thing. I mean, to make the full bulk, not 20 tall.
It looks like it will be on par with not the standard Knight Titans, but what's the bigger chassis that has like the shoulder mounted guns for 40K?
I think it's going to be, the Imperial Knights.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be that size.
but not like the Paladin and the
right. No, I think it will be like Justicator size,
or-
Justicar size.
Yeah, I forget what, you don't have any in here right
No.
now, but yeah, the slightly bigger ones like
Yeah.
the Canis Rex
Yeah.
chassis.
Yep.
I think that, or it might even be just a touch bigger.
Yeah.
It looks effing massive.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to point it or what they're going to have as rules for that thing to play in the game, because just the weapons
Yeah.
are as big as some of the smaller Titans from that game. It's
Yeah, because this is the kind of Titan that when you play it in regular 40K is basically just a 6 foot tall dude standing in
Yeah.
the corner
Yeah.
saying, bang, you're dead. Bang, you're dead.
exactly. Don't make me walk over there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was trying to think. I forget who I was talking to. Maybe Andrew about like monetarily how much this thing's going to set you back. And I would imagine honestly it'll probably be around the $200 mark because
I'm
you already
figuring,
have,
210.
because the other big like the Canis Rax size Titans and stuff are 165.
Yeah, or they might have gotten
170.
hit by the increase up to 180.
Yeah,
Not sure.
and this is comparable in size, if not,
Mhm.
like I said, maybe a touch bigger. But the detail I think will be even
Oh.
greater because it's a warlord.
Oh, God.
And you will likely only ever need to buy one. Cannot imagine you buying multiple.
You know damn well somebody out there is going to
Yeah.
buy 3. And I guarantee
Sure.
you there's going to be something in that book that's like,
Hey, this is just for fun, but here's a maniple with 3 of them.
Well, you know why? You know why you'd want to
so
buy
Ben
3?
Johnson can build 3 of them. That's why.
Well, Bill, you buy 3 of them because when they release Epic
Oh,
and you're able
my
to
God.
play absurdly large games of small scale 40K, you'll already have them ready to go
That's right.
because Epic's coming, right?
Oh, you know it.
Right?
You know it. I mean, the handwriting is,
Oh,
I mean, it's all over the walls. It's on the carpet. It's in
Yeah.
the ceiling. It's everywhere. But that was the end of the unimportant
Wow.
releases.
Wow. If that's unimportant, then imagine
What
what
they
better it
did.
gets.
There is, as we predicted, some love for the AOS community. And oh
Yeah.
my God, is it lovely. So the first thing they brought out was Severith, the Lord of the Seventh Wind for the Lumineth Realm Lords.
Yeah. Star Fox.
Yeah, Star Fox, basically. Oh my God. That quiver on his back is, oh man. Sorry.
Bill, you don't put quivers on your back because you can't reach the arrow. That is such an aesthetically inaccurate way of depicting somebody who uses a bow in battle. Okay, it's just as dumb as putting an 8-foot claymore on your back because that doesn't work either.
Hawkeye uses a quiver around his back.
Legolas does it too.
Yeah. And on a side note, there's this crazy guy on the YouTube, and I can't remember his channel name, but he debunks a lot of the old fantasy tropes about weapons and where they go and which ones are good. And he did a whole video on why you would put a weapon on your back, like, a claymore, and why it would make sense to have it there. Mostly because if you put a claymore on your belt, let's just not go there. But anyway.
Dragging it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it totally took me out of the immersion of the model.
Really?
Yeah, completely unrealistic.
Okay.
The 8-foot tall flying fox I can get behind,
Exactly.
who summons the power of wind magic. but damn it, you
But
put
that
a
quiver-
quiver on the back and it just shatters the illusion.
Yeah. Yep, totally. I'm buying 2.
Well, yeah, I pointed it out. Yeah. Now everybody is just like, oh my God,
I hate that thing.
it's ruined. So, yeah, we got and there's more Realm Lord stuff coming out that they didn't
Yay!
quite show yet. They just hyped it up. So it looks like there's like an artillery piece. There's dudes that fly around on clouds. This is
Yep.
all the wind
Yeah.
stuff. So it looks like we're going to get earth, wind, fire, and then probably eventually water.
Wah, wah.
Then when you melt all your models together in your backyard in a Rage video, they'll combine to make Captain Planet.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Hey, kids.
I felt like this as soon as the Realm Lord book dropped. I was like, this is not an army. This is
Yeah.
not the full.
This can't be all of it.
We got kind of the core in the spearmen, the cavalry, and the
Mhm.
archers, and then we got a little bit of earth stuff. There's got to be some more to this army. There's no combat characters
Yeah.
that aren't unique named
Right.
stuff. There's so little. Honestly, that
Mhm.
Lumineth Realm Lords book feels light.
Yeah.
So to see this stuff coming, I was like, all right, cool. It
And-
looks like we're also going to get more like an actual unit based around that great sword
Yeah.
wielding elf that's in the Dire Chasm
Yes.
set. And then there was the chocobo.
Yeah.
Not I'm sorry, the kangaroo
Kangaroo Rider.
cavalry.
I like them. I don't know why everybody
So
hates. I thought that was a really cool look.
yeah, when my very first knee jerk reaction was very poor.
Yeah.
And then I got to looking at them some more, and I was like, okay, you know what? I think this works. And then I think what really pushed me over the edge was not them, but the character model. My
Yeah.
God, that looks sweet.
Yep.
I was like, all right, I'm back on board. Yeah,
I
it's
think
all
that
good.
very first angle that they splashed was the wrong angle to take it from. If you had spun around and gone from the other side where you could see all the legs,
Well, it didn't
you'd be less like, what the hell is that?
help that we got Potato Cam.
Yeah.
leaks again.
Yes.
And I saw somebody, it was Ben Johnson or somebody was saying, like, it's very frustrating because now they actually put together hype videos that people work hard on to unveil this stuff and
Yeah.
show how cool it really is.
Yeah.
And when, a Potato Cam photo leaks, it kind of takes away from all of
Yeah.
that, which sucks.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I'm all on board with more Realm Lord
Oh, yeah.
stuff. I was thinking maybe it would be cool if Earth and Wind are more Teclis's side.
Yeah.
And then they do a whole separate
Yeah. Aaron.
army book, I guess, whatever. I don't know. A separate army that is the water and fire, and that would be Tyrion's
Yeah.
side.
Tyrion side.
That could be cool. I don't know. We'll see.
But
where it
yeah, I
goes.
don't know. I don't think it's going down that road now. The one downside I would say to this is you have the Lumineth Realm Lords book. Now you're going to need another book to use these guys.
Yeah, but
So,
we'll get into, I think that's not going to be true for very long based off of another book that was announced.
yeah.
But we'll get to that. There's a lot. There's a lot of AOS to unpack.
Oh, yeah.
So besides the Lumineth infusion hype that we got, which is pretty sweet, we got the next Broken Realms book, Broken Realms Teclis.
Take my money
Yeah.
now. I understand I won't get it for 8 months until after everybody else, but take my money now.
Yeah, I cannot wait to devour the story in this and to see the rules and everything too. But I really want to see where the story is going.
And the teaser so far is it's Teclis against Nagash.
Yep.
And I guess there's history there.
Yeah, maybe. I'm
wow.
really hoping this book surprises me because
Mm.
the way I feel it's going to go is that Nagash will make a power play, Teclis will step in, Teclis will have him on the ropes, almost defeat him, and then somehow Nagash fails upwards.
Yeah.
That's what he always does. He's a moron that always
Fails up.
stumbles to success. And I'm really hoping they subvert that in this and do something wild. I don't know.
What scares me is what's been announced for the book is this book features War Scroll battalions for Lumineth Realm Lords, Cities of Sigmar, Maggotkin of Nurgle. There's a weird one.
Yeah.
Flesh Eater Courts. Okay, I can see that with, the death theme.
Right.
And then Osiark Bone Reapers. And my fear is like what you said. I think Catacross is going to come at the 11th hour and save Nagash somehow.
Yeah, or something. Or Flesh Eater Courts will do it or whatever.
or something.
But yeah, the one that definitely, the Lumineth Realm Lord stuff obviously is going to be all the new units that
all
are
the new cool
coming
stuff.
out. And then just additional,
Yeah.
a flesh out of that book, which is good.
Yeah.
Cities of Sigmar, I remember when Cities came out, this is one of the things we talked about, how the way this book is written,
Mm-hmm.
the way that the sub-factions are based off of cities, they can just keep making that
Yes.
book relevant with the story as they explore more
You
realms
betcha.
and cities and all of that, which is so genius.
It is. It's a perfect answer to the most flexible force out
Yeah.
there.
It always keeps cities relevant.
Yep.
It always keeps them updated and fresh.
And it
Fun to
keeps the
play.
Order faction going. I mean, you look at what happened to the Stormcast Eternals. They're a thing again.
Yeah.
And, you're bleeding relevance into all of these factions. And I'm sure this one's going to do it again. I know probably some of this stuff is going to be to modify the Daughters of Cain aspect of Cities of Sigmar. But I'm sure some of the rest of it is going to be just, here, go have some fun.
Well, maybe they'll do something that unifies more of the high elf aspect
Sure.
of cities, which actually there's not a lot of it left. They
Yeah.
kind of hacked a bunch of it out, but yeah, they might find a way to unify more of the city stuff, which would be really cool. The one that does stand out though is the Maggotkin of Nurgle,
Yeah, one of these things is not like the others.
which R.I.P. Magakin Players. That's another book you have to carry around in your repertoire at the moment. So that's Magakin of Nurgle. That's Skaven. That's Everchosen of Chaos.
Yeah.
That's Beasts of Chaos. That's now
Broken Realms
Broken
Techless.
Realms Techless.
Yay.
And I thought there was, well, and then, your core rule book or whatever as well. So,
Golly, I hope they updated Zero pretty quick.
yeah, that's a lot of stuff that you can dip your toes into.
That's
which,
right.
if you're a Magakin player and you love having that variety, my God, you got variety now.
You betcha.
Not that you were suffering before.
Mm-mm. But
So
it's there.
I wonder if they'll get any new models. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Their range is still pretty relevant.
It's really good. Yeah. It's
I don't think there's anything that's really lacking.
no. They don't.
At least
have-
nothing that jumps. I'm sure there's Magic players that are like, oh my God, I wish we got.
We need a cavalry thing that isn't
Yeah,
drones.
Maybe something that's a little more cheaper and horde centric. I don't know. You still got.
I mean, you still got the Blight Kings. You've got, of course, Pox things, Walkers,
You got Nurglings if you want cheap.
Nurglings. Yeah.
You got big elite stuff. You got big monsters.
They don't really have holes.
Ranged
Yeah.
stuff, maybe, I guess. Some
Yeah,
kind of a
could be.
Nurgle. Well, no, then you have the Skaven come in
Yeah,
and
you
fill
got
that.
the
My
Skaven for
God,
the
they got
ranged.
everything.
Yeah.
If
They
you
got
don't
the
mind,
bases
if you don't mind crossing the streams between Beasts of Chaos, Nurgle, demons, mortals, my God, you got everything you could ever want with
Yep.
the Nurgle keyword.
So yeah, it's gonna be a real interesting release. The Flesh Eater Courts and the Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
I think I'm more keen to see what the Flesh Eaters brings.
I'm-
Ossiarch is still a pretty new.
I don't know what they could. I think maybe they're going to do some Ossiarch Bone Reaper stuff for some of the less represented characters. Give them a battalion that they matter in something, in a big way.
Maybe take the focus off Catacross a little bit.
Yeah, or-
Incentivize bringing some other stuff.
Some of the other models.
That'd be cool.
Yep. Flesh Eater Courts, I mean, they're strong.
Yeah, that was an army that spiked to the top and then just. I mean, well, Skaven too. They both rose to the top and then have just dropped off more and more and more as the game has progressed. Not that they're bad armies.
No.
It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I think just the new shiny wore off, but I mean they are still.
Yeah.
Ooh, some of those Flesh Eater Court battalions are just wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I think if they kind of codify and update some of that stuff, it's going to be a good book.
Oh,
it's
for
going to
sure.
be a good
For
book.
sure.
I cannot wait. And then it says also there are also war scrolls for a swath of new Lumineth Realm Lord units, including some that we saw earlier this week, all
Right.
the releases they showed, and unique battle plans that let you play out some of the battles from the narrative yourself. And again, this harkens back to Marathi, where they kind of had this little narrative campaign in there that if you had the requisite armies that it called for, it was a really neat campaign. It was a really neat setup. And I guarantee you they're going to do the exact same thing here. And again, it's part of their focus of bringing the narrative type play more to the forefront than just hey, let's go to a tournament and beat shit down. Because not a lot of people are going to a lot of tournaments these days. So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, there's not a lot of opportunities to get serious narrative groups together either. But, it's a little easier to do a narrative thing than a 40-man tournament.
Well, yeah, and there's people out there that have a very small group, of
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 that can get together consistently
Yeah.
despite the pandemic. So, yeah, running a 3-person tournament, not
Mhm.
particularly
Not
enjoyable,
out of
but
the realm, but
doing narrative stuff would be pretty cool.
super easy.
So, after that, we got this one totally caught me off guard.
Yeah, it did.
Not nearly as the one that coming after it, but the Daughters of Cain are getting a new battle tome, which makes sense. It's
It
one of
does.
the older books.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was no like
No hints.
Yeah.
No, hey guys, this is no. It's like out of nowhere. Here's the new Marathi-based
yeah.
book, and go have fun.
And we are also getting endless spells with them, which looked
That was okay. Wow.
that snake,
Oh,
that big snake looking thing.
How
my
many
God.
D&D campaigns
Oh yeah,
are going to be based around that snake?
that model is sick. I mean,
it is so
they all
awesome.
look gorgeous. I cannot wait to see what this battle tome actually changes about
Yeah.
the army, because they don't suck. Daughters of Cain have always been
Yeah.
consistently strong,
Mhm.
regardless of how the meta has shifted around them.
Yeah.
So, and these new War Scroll updates they got to Marathi, to
Yeah.
the Malusai, only made them better. So, yeah, we'll see how this also affects them.
And I'm wondering if this is just to put all the rules in one book, to get everything from all the different sources into one book. And if it is, I say yay, but I will understand also if people are a little miffed that it's just basically a combo book.
Yeah, but again, this is an older book, so I don't think it's such an issue.
No.
I think like I alluded to earlier, if Lumineth gets redone
That
in the next
will
3 months,
anger
when
everyone.
you basically had a collector's edition that was a paperweight because the rest of the army wasn't even available for
Yeah.
like 6 months,
Exactly.
that might sting.
It will.
bit.
It will.
But it also makes me wonder, are we going to get a Deepkin book
Yeah,
relatively soon? Because they also got a massive facelift.
that's right.
So,
I don't know. I'll bet you my biggest thing is I'm really dying to see the format of this book and to
Right.
see how it's laid out, to see whether it is a AOS 3.0 battle tome
yeah.
or if it's more of 2.0. Because, I mean, if this current round of January facts tells you anything, it's that 3.0 is around the corner. I mean, literally, it's closer than it is far.
Yeah.
So, which is one of the most stupid things I think I've heard myself say. It's closer than it is far away.
I
Well,
like that receiver.
duh.
He's a hands catcher. He catches the ball with his hands.
Oh,
I
no.
swear to God, I don't think I've ever heard anything worse from a commentator.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as opposed to catching it with his helmet.
Sometimes they catch it with their feet.
Yeah.
And, Ricky
Kid-
Prohl, he was really good at doing that.
Right.
So,
Jeez.
yeah. Anyway, this is how we get off track.
And then, oh my God, these next two are just so unbelievable. But we'll talk about the Crimson Court first, the new
For
expansion
Dire Chasm,
for Dire Chasm,
Underworld.
vampires,
Oh,
traditional,
golly gosh.
old Sylvaneth, or not Sylvaneth,
Soul Blight.
well, yeah, Soul Blight, but I'm thinking old world Sylvania.
Oh. I would
Yeah,
know.
the old Manfred, the old Karstein style vampires.
Oh, is that some old world
I swear
garbage?
to God. You shut your blasphemous mouth. These models are so goddamn gorgeous. Bill.
It's-
I don't know how else to say it.
That's it.
So phenomenal. That the Enforcer or whatever it is, the one that has the big two-handed
Yeah,
mace
yeah.
and he's
Oh,
just
God.
standing there stoically, has got to be my favorite of the four, and they're all stunningly good.
I like the girl who's cutting her hair off. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is just such a flowing
The-
sculpt.
The bat hair one is a little much, but I
Yeah.
think you could easily replace that head
Yeah.
with a Sisters of Battle
Or
head,
a Daughters of Cain head.
Daughters of Cain.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons of options there. But
Yeah.
and the rest of the body looked phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
I want a traditional Soul Blight
Yeah.
undead army
Yeah.
for AOS. That would be so amazing.
I think the handwriting is on the wall.
Ugh,
I really do. I mean,
the hype for this.
we can say so many things the handwriting is on the wall for, but I mean, they've teased everything, but this is a release of models. We are seeing these things in the flesh, in the plastic. And I mean, they are just, like you said, they're so freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And again, it just bodes to where they're going.
If I was ever going to play Underworlds,
Mhm.
this would be the faction
You
I
would,
played.
you would do, I'll buy 2 boxes.
God. Fair enough.
We won't
Fair
play a mirror match because that would be weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
these are going to be over the top good fun. And of course, anything that, updates Direcasm is cool in my book.
That I think I'm comfortable in saying Games Workshop has batted 1,000 on Direcasm or on Underworld's releases.
Underworld's, yeah.
I think every single warband I've seen for that game looks phenomenal. Even the ones that are just kind of like the Bloodbound and the Stormcast ones. It's like, oh, okay, here's more Bloodbound and Stormcast, but they managed to make even those warbands look unique and dynamic in such a way that it doesn't feel like you're just grabbing a handful of Blood Reavers.
Even the Thorns of the Briar Queen, which are nothing more than a couple of characters and chain rasps, are different enough from the other ones that
she is so stunning.
She
the Briar
is
Queen,
amazing,
gorgeous. So it's like if you wanted a centerpiece for Underworlds, I think she is.
She could be.
She's up there.
Yep. Same thing with the Sylvaneth. They were just
even the skeleton ones.
Yeah.
Each one of those skeletons feels like an individual character that's also a horde. The Skaven are the same way.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm telling you. I think whoever gets to design those, it's a treat.
Yeah.
I think the designer actually gets to sit down and be like, I'm going to just have fun.
And,
I think that they don't do that with everything anyways, but
yeah,
to sit there and have your boss or whatever say like, okay, this is the faction we kind of want to do. And we want them to be, 3 to 5 models. Yeah. And each model tells a story.
Yeah.
And whoever's designing that in CAD is probably just like, wee.
It's got to be so liberating to, I like how they talk about, in the podcast and stuff that honestly what happens there is the miniature sculptors, the model makers make the models and then hand them over to the different teams and say, make something out of that.
Right.
And then they write them into the story. And it's so, because if you literally tried hard to just let the rules writers and the background writers determine where we were going forward, you'd be handicapping their creativity.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just tell these guys, hey, it's Monday, by Friday, I need some concept work, whatever you feel like, just make me something cool.
Right.
And then, you get 3 or 4 people doing that. And on Friday, you look at what they created and went, oh, these are the best. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Everybody work on those now. And it's got to be so liberating for those guys to just have a blank page and say, I can do whatever the heck I want.
Yeah. And I think another thing about Underworlds and some of these other specialist games is like when you design, you look at this like Space Marines. Okay. The new Space Marine stuff is phenomenal.
Yes.
Even if you're not a Space Marine fan, you cannot deny that like the Blade Guard look incredible. And like that new Eradicator kit is going to allow for so many options. But as the designer, I think it's always in your head of like, how can I make this kit? Because it's going to be replicated. Somebody might buy 3 of these boxes and they want every model to look different. So I have to, when I design this, I also have to think about how it's going to go onto the sprue and how it's going to be, things will be interchangeable and customizable and all of that stuff. So it's going to maybe limit how I design it.
And you have to stick with the motif. You can't get too far away from powered armor Space Marines.
Whereas when they do Underworlds, it's like this kit, I don't have to worry about how it goes together.
I don't care.
I don't have to worry about how it can be interchanged with other things and posable and blah, blah, blah. It's a static pose that's used for one thing. And so I can just pour everything into it and make it look phenomenal and unique.
And one of the crazy things is, and at first I was averse to this, and now I've come to realize they use it as a tool, is everybody has a custom base that they fit into.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it also, that's part of the design space, is part of that base tells part of the character story.
Right.
And it's just,
Yeah, like a good example is like the skeletons. Yeah. There's some that are like coming up out of the ground.
Yeah, out of the ground.
Stuff.
And, it's one of those deals where I kind of sometimes wish I had, that ability and that amount of creativity, because just to be able to just do whatever you feel hits you that day.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
I don't think either of us are particularly artistically inclined.
No, I can't draw a straight line.
Yeah.
So
when I see that kind of stuff, like it's always blown my mind how somebody can take a blank canvas and a pencil.
Yeah.
And then you give them 6 hours and then they come back with
Yeah.
a fully drawn thing. It's like, how did you take that from your brain and put it on paper? I don't get that. Like,
It's one of those things, I see some of these artists creating, you see these time lapse things, or, my wife is a pretty good artist. She does it. Is you start to see them sketching these things out, and it looks so disjointed, and it looks so really, I can't see it. I don't see where they're looking.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden they add more here and add more there, and all of a sudden it becomes this scene, and you're just like, holy crap, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I was watching Nerd Forge, and she went on a 7-day, I'm going to a cabin in the mountains to do nothing but work on my painting skills, canvas painting.
oh wow,
And she focused on like one thing every day. She was going to do 7 paintings, one a day. And she just focused on different things, and just seeing those things come to life where, the first 10 minutes, you're looking at it going, that is nothing. That's just a bunch of shapeless blobs and some colors.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden it became this whole, oh my God. Yeah, I wish I had that ability. And I know you can learn it, but it's too late for me. I can't even learn AOS. So, but it's, oh man, I love it when artists do art,
yeah.
and then it's amazing like it is. I love them.
All right, enough Underworld's ball washing.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. And
God.
oh wait, there was one more little thing.
Yeah, one little thing that might have left a smoldering crater.
Oh my God.
Warhammer Quest, Cursed City.
Oh, this is going to be an epic fail.
Oh my God. And it's funny because they only showed 2 models, and yet it's like all anybody was talking about.
Yeah.
Was those 2 models. It's a witch hunter and a grave digger,
Yes.
and they don't even look like Games Workshop.
No.
What they instantly reminded me of was I'm not a part of the group anymore.
The Witcher? Oh, no.
Yeah, actually. But the AOS 28 and the
Yeah.
Warhammer 40
Inquisition 28.
Inquisition 20, yeah. And how they did kind of like a grim dark
Yeah.
spin on an already grim dark stuff. That's what these reminded
Yeah.
me of. They look like they were ripped directly from.
This is a John Blanche. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing. This Warhammer Quest Cursed City, praying to God, it's more like Blackstone Fortress than it is Shadows over Hammerhall.
Oh, I can't
Oh,
see it not
No,
being.
I think it's going to be Blackstone, based on that kind of
Right.
idea, probably much changed. But it's going to be, again, I was talking to Anders the other day, and the reason Blackstone Fortress was such a crazy good seller was you appealed to the regular gaming crowd, not the miniatures gaming crowd with it. The only put off was the assemble, you have to build your own models.
Yeah.
But even that wasn't too bad because those models were not exactly pushing your ability as a model builder.
Yeah, and I think people are slowly getting more used to that too. As,
A little bit.
As because this style of game of a dungeon crawl
Yeah.
is getting more and more popular.
I mean, you look at the Gloomhaven and now Frosthaven and these kind of, that Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah, there's one of those. There's Marvel superhero versions now
Yeah,
and all
and
kinds of stuff.
They are really taking off. And the problem with some of those models, I don't want to say problem, but one of the knocks that I see some of the things in one of the cottage industries that has grown up is remaking all the characters to be a lot more realistic. And that's what Blackstone Fortress had in spades. Once you built those models, they were beautiful.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to really get crazy with the paints. Well, some of them you did, but I mean, honestly, you could do a pretty decent job in an evening for most of that if you weren't, like getting crazy tabletop. So yeah, and if they make this game, I think this could compete with the Hero Quest, that's coming out from Hasbro.
Oh yeah.
The
Totally
big.
forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would almost bet that this game will come out close to maybe, hopefully earlier or right around the same time to compete directly with it because of the just phenomenal, what was it, $4 million that it raised?
Oh yeah, something absurd.
Yeah, it's
Good job.
crazy.
It was just shy of the final
Of the big dragon,
Yeah.
which is sad. But they'll sell it to us anyway.
Yeah, I'm
so,
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to go right up against Hero Quest for that fantasy genre dungeon crawl, except this looks like it might have more of a little horror aspect to it, which would be cool because you
Yeah.
got a witch hunter.
Yeah, and that Gravedigger. Oh, my God.
man. Wow.
So good.
Wow. Yeah, and the memes that came up around those two were just too funny.
Yeah. I'm so hyped.
I am too. It is crazy. I mean, just here's what really hurts me. It almost makes me sad. This is just the LVO preview show. The really big one is Adepticon, and that's not coming up for a couple of months. I believe in that show is when they're going to drop AOS 3.0 as, hey, it's coming, folks. And we're not going to cover the January FAQs for AOS because not a lot changed, for one. And for two, a lot of other places have dissected the changes. I mean, the big changes in this one are a couple of points changes here and there. Marathi can't use a Balewind Vortex. Seraphon can't steal soul-linked endless spells. Little things like that. Nothing here is changing the basics of the game at any level. And, I mean, one of the things they talked about was they weren't going to do a very comprehensive FAQ update because of the lack of games being played due to COVID.
Yeah.
And there's not a data point. There's not enough data points for them to look at and say, this is verifiably broken. Although there are some people that will argue that it is. However, Games Workshop doesn't look at little cliques of people who play games and argue about stuff. They look at the worldwide community and say, what's broken? So,
Yeah, I saw some pushback on this because, one, Tabletop Simulator's a thing, and people have been running tournaments and whatnot on that. To quite a bit of success, which is interesting. And so people were kind of like, well, why don't you take the data that's been drawn from that? And also there has been a sizable number of in-person tournaments that has happened, but I think the difference is I think Games Workshop prefers to get more data from things like LVO and Adepticon and Nova and those big
places where they have a presence where it can be monitored and they can make sure there's no shenanigans.
Right. Whereas opposed to, some of these others that are like 18 people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, oh, yeah, this one army did really well, but it's what was represented, what wasn't.
Well, a 60-man tabletop simulator tournament, there's absolutely no observability for that other than if they stream every game. And that's not, I hate to say it, but sometimes the games will tell a story and sometimes the story will have a game. And people can use that to prove points that they want. It goes back to figures can't lie, but liars can figure. So all of these, I will say that with all the tabletop simulator gaming going on and all of that stuff, all of those data points that they may or may not even have would add up to maybe a couple of months of pre-COVID gaming,
Yeah. And I think also one pushback potentially for using tabletop simulator data to dictate points changes and things like that is, tabletop simulator allows you to do things that you can't do on in actual tabletop, at least not functionally. One of the big stories was the guy who had like 18 cockatrices
in
an army. And it's like, okay, well, if he does really well, right? Like just say he steamrolls people through tournament after tournament with that, which wasn't the case, but let's say that that's what happened. So then you pressure Games Workshop to adjust the points in cockatrices based off of digital data. Nobody's going to buy 18 cockatrices and actually do
field them
that
on the
kind of
table.
stuff. So it kind of corrects itself anyways.
Right.
That's why you can't necessarily run with that data. And I'm sure there's people that will listen to this and be like, no, that's
so
incorrect
wrong.
Because if you actually dig into the numbers and blah, 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 well, ultimately they chose not to go with that. So here we are. And whether that is indicative of them actively choosing to not pay attention to that stuff, which I doubt. I think Games Workshop has established quite readily that they do pay attention to just about every aspect
yeah.
of the community.
Yep.
Or it's indicative of there's a new edition coming and they already know which direction they want to go in.
And see, that to me, that this fact just screams to me that they are ready to drop a new edition, and there's not a lot of point to spend a lot of time, making this edition all that much better when there's really not a lot of tournaments to go to. There's really not a lot of games happening. I think if we were post-COVID, if this thing, was winding down and all the events were kind of kicking off again, there might have been a different tenor to this fact, even though it's facing I believe we were facing AOS 3.0 imminently. I think there would have been more effort into it. However, to me, there's no need. And I think, I'm not going to swear to this, but it's better to have your rules writers and developers and editors working on 3.0 and making sure that thing's ready to go out the door than writing facts for a system that's not going to be around in 6 months.
Yeah.
Because by the time the next fact would drop, I almost will bet you we have 3.0 on our hands. So
Possibly.
yeah, I think they need to release it just before Nova so that you can completely mess up that entire thing. I'm sorry, Chuck, but it's a rule. These things have to happen.
Yeah.
And Chuck's going to be like, oh no. So yeah, but that's where we are with the preview. Just hit after hit after hit, smash after smash. I'm not gonna apologize for the things I said about the haters. And if you're one of the haters, I'm sorry. You should, I don't know, do different stuff. But I think it was just an amazing preview, and it gave a lot of, it was for us in the AOS world that have lived through the 40K 9th edition rollout. It's like we didn't forget about AOS. Here's your toys.
Right.
And yeah, and I believe this is just a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah. I can't wait to get more info on Cursed City.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So good. So good. So with that as our background, shall we drop the news that we were going to drop
Yeah. Let's drop them beats.
about going to MCP only?
MCP. Yeah. Here we go. So
We already
I think
did that one.
in the Hulk meta, just kidding.
In the post-Hulk world, I did see an interesting show the other day about setting up terrain in the post Magneto world, where the more terrain you have, you're just giving Magneto weapons.
Hey,
And it's like, oh my God, do you stop putting out? No, there's supposed to be this much terrain on the board. And yes, it makes him cool, but it's baked into his cost. So
I'm all
anyway,
for it. I'm all here for Magneto.
yeah, he's so good.
You got to show me that card later.
Yeah, he's good. Good. Anyway, what we were talking about earlier today is we are going to take our release schedule and go to a monthly release for the podcast for the foreseeable future. And this is really just in response to the fact that there's not a lot of stuff coming out. There's not a lot of stuff for us to analyze. And it gives us a little bit better of a chance to put together a little bit more meaningful show, a little bit more stuff, a little bit more content, rather than just, talking about what we did for the last 2 weeks. I clipped my toenails. That was cool. Yeah, that's not what people want to hear. So for the foreseeable future, going to, just like I said, go to a monthly release schedule. And part and parcel of that is I'm going to put all of the Patreon collection stuff on hold until we go back to our twice a week schedule when things calm down a little bit and the releases start picking up again. Because I just don't think it's fair to, we were doing two shows a month there, and I think we were kind of delivering on that Patreon deal, but I don't think it's fair to charge those prices. So I'm just going to basically put the Patreon on hold for a little bit, and we'll pick it back up later when we go back to, to a twofer or switch to MCP completely. I'm kidding. Or it'll be the Adeptus Titanicus / Dire Chasm / MCP / Star Wars Legion show. Yeah, no. Let's not forget Aeronautica Imperialis.
Hey,
We got to do that with the Tau stuff. I mean, we got to get that back on the board.
And the Imperial Guard Valkyries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that big orc bomber, which I still haven't built.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah.
He's so huge. Oh my.
Bill, you got a lot of building to do, buddy.
I know.
Just saying.
I know.
Get rid of that pesky job of yours and start, getting on the hobby.
Well, as soon as I hit that lottery, I'll get on that. Did you see that $1 billion winner?
No.
Yeah, the big Powerball got won.
Oh my.
So they haven't released names yet, but it was one of somewhere up in Michigan. So
Imagine how much that would ruin your life.
yeah, oh my God. Well, actually, at that point, I don't know if you really could completely ruin your life. I mean, because you could still hand out a lot of money to your friends and family, and
It was $1 billion?
well, what they're going to actually see at the end of it is much.
Well, yeah, but if you take a one-time payout, you still get like 600 million.
Yeah, 600 million, and then after that first tax cycle, that's going to be like another 120 off the top. So you're still going to end up with $500 million.
Jesus.
So yeah, that could buy. I mean, you could buy a lot of friends, a lot of new friends.
You know what? The sad thing is you literally can't imagine
No,
what that's like.
yeah,
To have $500 million in your hand.
just all of a sudden, one
Yeah.
day. One day I was making car payments. The next day, I'm literally not caring about anything.
I could single-handedly sink the economy of small countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh God, I love America. Anyway, I am going to ask you, sir, to go to random.org so that we can give away a Lumineth Realm Lords book. Would you do that for me?
I guess. A
All right.
book?
What?
You said give away a Lumineth Realm Lords book.
Box. I meant box.
Oh, there it
I meant
is.
box. I meant box. All right, let me make sure this thing downloaded the correct updates. It looks as if it did.
The minimum number is 1.
Is 1.
The maximum number is
214. Yes, 214. Yeah.
Did the amount raised go up?
Yeah, we had a couple of last minute donors. Actually a couple of big ones too. So I'm going to end that campaign also, so that St. Jude's can get their money. I think it topped out at around $550 or something.
Okay.
So
And are you ready?
I was born ready.
Wow. Generate number 43.
You're shitting me.
No.
Oh God. Okay. Number. Let me scroll. Oh, no way. I know that guy.
Yeah.
We can't do that
Why?
because I know that guy.
Well, I would imagine we know a lot of people in the community.
That's true. We know most of these people. So Luke Snell, my buddy from Nova Open.
Wow.
I'm sending you a Lumineth Realm Lord book.
Box, Bill.
Box.
Jesus Christ. Figure it out.
I smell eggs. Do you? Wow. I am sorry. So let me just check here. Luke is a longtime Patreon supporter, and he donated to the charity. So he hit it on both ends.
There you go.
Very nice. That's why he's in the list a couple of times. So awesome. Well done, Luke. Well done. I will get a hold of you in some manner. So that is the Lumineth Realm Lords box. And thank you to everyone who gave money to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Every little bit helps. And you never know. One of those dollars might be the cure for something. And that would be awesome. So, do you have anything else, sir?
Don't think so.
All righty then. I guess we will sign off, and we will see you right around the beginning of March, right? Because it's the beginning of February. Yeah, we'll see you at the beginning of March or the end of February.
Sounds good.
All right.
If you would like to get in touch with us, you can reach us at our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. Our Patreon page is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, again, all one word. The Twitter account for the show is at rolling_bad. And our individual Twitters are, for me, at Bill Castello, BILLCASTELLO. And for Elric, it's at Elric Edge, ELRICEDGE. All of our guests on the show will have their contact information in that show's show notes. The music in the show is used courtesy of Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and used under the Creative Commons license. The Rolling Bad podcast is protected under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. Information for this license can be found at creativecommons.org.